of May this year, 2016. Now, remember on this day when the late Dr. Apollo Milton Obote returned from Tanzania and he landed in Bushenyi. The sort of things that we remember on this day when Dr. Apollo Milton Obote returned to Uganda in 1980. And, well, a lot has happened and so many things have continued to happen. Now, with me in studio this morning is the media consultant, Mr. Joseph Tamale Mirundi, Omukukunavu, here with me to tell us what he thinks. Son of Yohana Mirundi, to tell us what he thinks about the cabinet 2016-2021. You're most welcome, Tamale, and a very good morning. Yes, what is your feeling about the next cabinet?
I remember what is the return.
In 1980?
Yes, what I remember is that immediately after landing, he kissed the soil
in Bushenyi.
And he was accompanied by somebody called Bananuka. He was driven in vehicles that had registration numbers UWO.
Obote.
Uganda wants Obote.
UWO meant Uganda wants Obote?
Yes. Yeah. The registration number plates. And it ended the speculation that Mwanga would stand because the argument had been kicked out for consolidating himself.
Because it was on this day, 1980, as they were getting ready for the elections in December.
So it ended the speculation because the DPs were thinking that Mwanga was going to stand and they had made a strong alliance with him. I remember then the DP chairperson of Mukono, Chiwanuka Musisi, donated the bull to Paulo Mwanga because Paulo Mwanga had removed Binayesa. And the DPs thought that by the removal of Binayesa, who had an umbrella, who was opposed to multi-party democracy, they were going to win. In fact, Mwanga included one of DP ministers called Lawrence Sebalu. Sebalu had earlier served in the DP government. So the return of Obote ended the speculations. And Obote immediately took over as president because whatever he wanted was put in practice. So that's what was implemented. He said, I have come with one air ticket, we shall die here, we shall not go back.
But he died in South Africa. He died in South Africa.
These are political rhetorics.
Tamale.
Politicians normally make.
Back to the topic of the day, as the country is waiting for the new cabinet 2016-2021, we know that a country's history, if it is distorted, it doesn't have the facts and it is misspelled by those pushing for it. And we have a geography whose demarcations are not known by its leaders. And we have values of the people that are not known by those that want to give offices. Where do we think this government or this country will be? Where we're now looking at people who say, we want Tamale Mirundi in cabinet because Tamale represents their interests. We want Jagana in cabinet because Jagenda is fellowships with them. You know, people demand along those lines. Now, disregarding the history, the geography, and the values of our people, what do you think is going to happen? Where do you think we are headed to? And what do you think should be the 2016 cabinet?
Fortunately for me, I'm not an ordinary Ugandan. The way I look at things is different. And I know the media hype, that the media has the capacity to create something that does not exist. The media has created an impression that being a minister is very important. And this is why people are fighting to ensure that they're in the cabinet. Two, in the corrupt system, every political tag is very important because it is a gateway to things, you fall into things, as the propaganda used to say. Also, there are other underlying currents. For example, some people are saying that being in a cabinet, you are being positioned for future roles. That's a fact. Two, there are those who have paid the money. There are those who have paid the sex. Are in a group of people, especially when it comes to female MOPs. They don't know, people don't know how things work. You find a person who tells you, am I on the list? This is why Agula quarreled that his name was there. How did he know that his name was there? Somebody had taken the money from him.
He quarreled. The name was on the list.
When he did not find his name, when he was dropped from cabinet, Agula Awori said my name was there, somebody removed it. He didn't. Agula Awori didn't know. This is why they give in newspapers a list of contradicting lists. By the time I took your money, didn't you see your name in the papers? You were there. But you see, somebody, they always get an excuse. Oh, you'll be done here against you. You are marrying Yakujeko. These are conmen. So once they hype being ministers, people believe that if you are not a minister, it is life or death. Others say it's a demonstration that that's why you have a conflict. You have never been paid. Those who are, he supplied my books to the task force. Why? There is a conflict. There are two groups fighting each other. They don't want to recognize that Ajati Mukwaya did alone. In fact, the task force. If you recognize Mukwaya, then the other people who say that they contributed more will not. So there is a conflict, and because of this conflict, those of us who supply these materials and the services to the task force, we have not been paid. Because one group believes that it did this. If you recognize Mukwaya, then Mukwaya should leave. Because you cannot continue being in office when the wedding is over. A wedding organization committee to remain in office to do what? So immediately Mukwaya leaves, these people will take the money and call some, yeah, you not go there. So therefore, corruption and the media hype and the expectations, but to me, what is important is not the type of cabinet you have. No. It doesn't matter, Tamale. No, it doesn't matter. Because Africans were good at experimenting. When you look at Nigeria, the Nigerians admired America. Why? That's why they have a system. The capital city, federal government in Abuja, the federal government in Washington. Has it delivered? Is it because you have a federal or something, a semi-federal or quasi-federal? Does it develop? Has this spurred development in Nigeria? Because you have almost the same political system. It's not. Because the factors that drive the American economy, the American political landscape, the American body politic are completely different from those of Nigeria. Two, our neighbors in Kenya, it started here. Onapito and Muntu proposed this, that cabinet, that ministers should not be picked from MPs. They did it in Kenya. Would it not be good, Tamale? What is happening in Kenya? But would it not be good, Tamale? Yes, what is happening in Kenya, it doesn't matter. The bigger, it would be like a saying. Do you know why, Tamale? Do you know why? Because it is prestigious for somebody to be a minister, for somebody to say, I am the minister of this. But to the president, he is in service delivery. He has a social contract with the people of Uganda. He promised the people of Uganda and told them, by this year, we want to see Uganda here. This is manifesto. He sold it across the country. But this 303 parties. This is not then what Ugandans bought into his manifesto. This is not what happened. His is service delivery. Yes. Ours is prestige. This is not, how do you marry this? Is not what happens. When you are running the economy, or a university, the issue is clear. What type of people do you recruit? If you open up a branch of any bank, the type of people you recruit are different. Politics is different. Politics is who gets what, is sharing. Politics must be a mirror where everybody is seen. So therefore, the president, unlike a chancellor of a university, or a businessman who is recruiting managers, the president does not have this privilege of getting the ideal people. Muslims are not there. But should we just put them there to just... Tamale, is that a problem now? Yes. Where would bring a Morocco to just mirror the Moroccan cabinet? Yes, this is politics. This is politics because politics is not medicine, where you need an educated surgeon to operate. That's not medicine. Politics is different. That's why I always laugh. Why do you have caucuses, tribal caucuses in the parliament? How does the law affect Muganda different from Musoga? Basoga MPs, Baganda MPs, Lango MPs, Bajankole MPs. This is the problem. A legislative assembly, how can a law affect me? If this law has been brought by government or a private member's motion to help to solve a problem in society, a national problem, how does it apply to Baganda? Why do they have caucuses? The chairperson of the Buganda caucus, I hear now, they are going
to talk about the Buganda caucus and the Baganda caucus.
They don't know. The word
isn't that healthy, Tamale?
No.
It has a Baganda caucus and a Buganda caucus.
We don't have an ethnic tribe called Baganda. The original Baganda we are called Bawawa, who lived in Busiro, Chadondo, and Maokota. When we got to 20 counties, we became Obuganda. We are in nationality, we speak different languages. Having failed to solve, this is exactly, if you have failed, you have degenerated, even the Baganda need 2 caucuses. That is stupidity and foolishness. So this is the reason I'm explaining to you, that when you look at the politics, the body politic, a politician, a president is not like, he does not have the privileges. This is why.
What is he going to do, Tamale? Because at the end of the road, we blame the president. Now, you remember during the 2016 elections, everybody was saying, and you also know that at the rate of those who are demanding for a change is actually growing.
Yes.
People are agitating for change.
Yes.
They just feel President Museveni has been a good leader. He's a good leader right there. But things are not working because of the people that he uses, the Tamales, the Jadovas, and everybody who are out there. What should he do to make sure that he has a cabinet, he has servants who make things work?
Things are not working because of ministers. Things are not working because of sabotage. Because of an entrenched mafia network that is sabotaging, that does not care about national interest. Let me give you
I don't know the mafia.
Let me give you examples. Ham, I'm not speaking because he is a close relative. This is a young man.
Ham, the business
offered, he has the money up to today to modernize Nachivuvu. But has been frustrated by the ministers, including the Minister of Sport. Has been frustrated by Parliament.
Tamale, but that's why it is. Now,
because
we have ministers
not because they are incapable, but they knew that if Museveni constructed that stadium at that magnitude, which could provide 20,000 jobs, then you could not defeat him. It became a political strategy. Don't think that Alupo is incapable. Don't think that this man in charge of sports is incapable. No.
They are able.
They are able. You look at a soccer match between Burkina Faso and Uganda. The Ugandan team, when the president gives them money, it is not even announced. Why do you think that the Bokanabe team, soccer team, came with the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Sports? Because of politics. Soccer is political. The situation in Brazil would have been different if Brazil had lifted the World Cup. But once the woman invested thinking that the winning the World Cup would give them political mileage, but it is no longer sports in a healthy body. It's political. Somebody sabotages it not because he's incapable, he's an incapable minister. No, he sabotage.
So a minister is also part of the mafia group?
Yes.
Then what are we going to do when ministers are mafias again?
When you read my book,
to undo
when you read my book, how Mbabazi plotted his failed coup, I tell you that Mbabazi identified key ministries. There are ministries we call social service ministries. In many countries, they are handled by women. Because the goodness of a woman is that even a highly educated woman suffer labor pains like an uneducated ones. And they are not as corrupt as men.
Women.
Yeah, women. But when you look at many things, why is the Minister of Health having problems? Why is it Lukwago? Why was there an attempt to kill him?
Which Lukwago? Elias Lukwago or Elias Lukwago? Asumani Lukwago.
Asumani Lukwago. Asumani Lukwago has been having problems with Akulu everywhere. Why? Deals. They are not talking about. In fact, at one time, as we were approaching elections, Yengo was given mosquito notes to dispute them. I came up, I said, look, how come that a government, this government that is in power, that bought mosquito nets, can fail to dispute them, and the opposition comes up to say, this is a failed government, they cannot even dispute mosquito nets. Is it because the minister is incapable?
Tamale. But did government fail to distribute mosquito nets?
Why were they given it to they are rotting in stores?
So did Ingrid finally get them out?
The opposition took the initiative.
But did Ingrid finally?
Yes. At the end of the election.
And did Ingrid give them out?
You're telling me that the minister is incapable.
What is that, Tamale? If a minister has mosquito nets and they're kept in the stores, then what is that, Tamale?
The opposition picks.
What's that, Tamale? Is that being able? Is that being competent?
That's what I'm telling you.
What is that, Tamale?
That's what I'm telling you. That they are not doing this because they're incapable. Not at all.
It's intended.
It is intended.
What are we going to do?
That teachers go on strike. The president directs that you give money into their circle. A minister says no. The money should be given. Then eventually they go on strike and the money is given to the circle. What was the intention? But you see, government money cannot go to private. But the president has been donating money to women to use through their circles, which is different to incite the teachers to continue. Why is it that strikes are normally staged during the marking of exams, during
sitting exams,
commencing of terms? You know what was going to happen when the government intervened and removed demand. What was being prepared, being organized? The computers were going to be tampered with to release
exams. An attempt of not releasing exams.
To say that, look, if Museveni's government, Museveni has failed so much that he cannot even
release exams.
I mean, at least ensure that it is us. And the results affect so many people. If you tamper with the results, it means that the person who would go to senior one will not go. A person, the whole system, education system is paralyzed. Is it incapability? Are they incapable or sabotage?
The invisible hand, that later was revealed to us as a visible hand of the Right Honorable John Patrick Amama Mbabazi. It's finally out of this question. Do we still think that Mbabazi has influence, like we used to say? Because there are even ministers that you could call Mbabazi's minister, Mbabazi's minister, Mbabazi's minister, Mbabazi's minister is sabotaging Mbabazi's minister. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has time to do his own bit without the influence of Honorable Mbabazi. No. What do we think and what do we expect to see without the invisible hand of Mbabazi?
I've been saying here that Museveni's challenge, he has two fundamental challenges. One is deworming the NRM to remove Mbabazi's allies.
Are they still in government?
And two, there is an emergence of succession fever that there is also another emerging group that wants to control power in this country, fearing that if Museveni loses power to other people. This is why. Look what is the trend in the parliament. The election of the opposition leader reflects a lot. You are going to have a different parliament. When you say somebody immediately after the elections he goes to thank her spirits, the Misamba, is sending a very big message.
To who?
Somewhere.
Where, Tamale?
Don't kill you on me. You did not help me. I was helped by my Misamba.
Does that message go to the people?
Telling you.
The voters in Busoga, is the number of sent to parliament or message sent within parliament?
There's a lot of key players in this game. The warming NRM is not going to be very easy. The emergence of another group that operates like a message is there, and the government has emerged. Nobody can dismantle the mafia network that has established its intercourse in the churches, in the Catholic Church, in the Uganda, in the media. They are there, entrenched, very entrenched. Once they target you, they target you. Once they want to destroy you, they destroy you. So these are very important factors in the body politic. The question is not who. Me, I know. When the president took power in 1986, did he get military experts? Why did Uganda face insurgents in all of the areas of Uganda? ADF was fighting in Kasese. Northern Uganda, they was fighting. They started with a man called Emmanuel Okero.
In northern Uganda.
Kony came later. This woman.
Alice Lakwena.
RPA in Teso.
Nalu in Range.
Yes, in the Range Road. Did Museveni call in experts, military experts?
With all the warlords that were.
He had experts, he knew. Because the army has delivered, the reason why the army has delivered, it does not base itself on regional balance. It depends on the professionalism, which does not apply in the government.
Where are those tactics that President Museveni used?
Yes, the army is controlled.
Because today,
even if you make a noise that his son should not be promoted,
to Major
when he qualifies, there is an assignment he has to do. He does it. because the army is run on professional.
And promotion in the army is not based on our recommendations. As
but
the
when the president visits an area and they say, some of the minister, there is we went to Nakasek, and a woman, I think she was an LC one chairperson, she read a memorandum to the president that we would like our MP, who was Saida Bomba, to be vice president. How can you demand somebody else's job when the man is seated there?
The vice president was there?
Yes, but this woman, everybody knew that it was Saida Bomba who was using this woman. In the Catholic Church, the cardinal cannot visit a parish and they ask him, Cardinal, we don't have Omwana wa Fava wa Nufaza. They know how a priest is produced. But in the politics, because the politics does not have professionalism, politics does not have regulations that a minister of finance should be a professor of economics. And in fact,
isn't that one of the problems, Tamale, that we have? Let me just take you a little back. When you look at Engineer Irene Mulonyi, because she came from that background of, she's an engineer, she came from that background of Umeme and everything, in her dispensation of duties as a Minister of Energy, she performed to the best of my understanding. She moved Uganda from 9% to 14%. Now, Engineer Irene Mulonyi did her best in ensuring that Uganda gets electrified. Now, when you go to Bulambuli, where people in Bulambuli want somebody that comes for burial, comes for their Kwanjula meetings and all the things, Irene Mulonyi was very busy doing national duties and not going to the constituency. When she went back for the election, they told her, we do not want you any longer. Now, there is that local politics in Bulambuli that failed Irene Mulonyi from returning to Parliament as a legislator. But when you look at her and assess her as a minister, then there is performance. Don't you think, Tamale, it would be wise that we find people that you do not place a Tamale who knows media to go and become a minister of finance? And in that case, what do you think the president has to do to ensure that the Steady Progress Manifesto actually comes to fruition? Because there is going to be time of appraisal in 2021.
Don't narrow the defeat of Mulonyi only on the people of her constituency.
It goes beyond that.
The key players in the oil industry. I will give you a copy of my book, Uganda's Oil. Is it a scramble or a curse? I pointed out that many countries that had forgotten Uganda, like the Russians, are coming back.
Oil
and they are coming back.
In ensuring that
yes, the Russians left during a minute's time. They are now showing their visibility here. Why? Because of the oil industry. Mulonyi has not had the peace, like the permanent secretary of energy. I know the oil industry very well. I know it. I have an expert at home who knows the oil. But when he went in Ministry of Energy, he was almost killed. I know the oil industry. I've started Uganda's oil industry. I know what caused the Karuma. How can a minister goes to inspect a project, you find it is cracked and even enter the channel? Why was it that the crack was highlighted? They were embarrassing the same Aaron Mulonyi. And are you saying that because Aaron has been doing this, she cannot be affected in the reshuffle?
No, she can be affected.
Yes.
She can be affected.
So, therefore,
she can be affected.
The key players in the oil industry can even finance your defeat in your home area. Because they want somebody else. They want, in fact, the oil, when you look at Uganda's oil, Uganda's oil is one of the factors that have determined, they are going to determine the future of this country. But many people don't discuss it. Why is Oneke featuring in the newspapers? Oneke is an agent of the Russians. That's known. Why was Oneke removed from Ministry of Energy? Why? No, there was a competition between the Russians and the Libyans over the construction of the pipeline. I knew. So, oil, there is no way Mbabas and the Besi can allow a situation where a government exploits oil where they in the opposition. They are going to make sure that either even those who are financing, most of the people who finance Besi and the Mbabas are looking for our oil. So they will ensure that the president creates a government of national unity to ensure that their interests are also protected. Tell me one factor that has been changing with the election date. At one time, we are told that we shall have oil in 2007. When Museveni came back in 2006, it extended to 2013. When Museveni came back in 2011, it extended to 2017. When Museveni came back, it has extended to 2020.
Yeah, but 2017
yes.
is here.
Why is it that these people don't want the president to touch on oil resources?
Are they the ones keeping here Museveni? Those who are pushing the oil? Because I think it's intended to see that they get the oil without Museveni.
Yes.
Is that the plan?
No. The president has insisted on refinery. Many people,
and they don't want the refinery.
It does not. They keep players in the oil industry internationally, even in Chad. Chad has a refinery, it's dysfunctional. Because these people want to take everything. In fact, when the president went to Nigeria and addressed the Nigerians about the oil, the issue of the refinery came up, saying, why are you insisting on the refinery? He said, those countries that have refineries, are they doing it as Mama Teresa, on charity? Because all of the products are taken away. All of the products are taken away. So these key players don't want Museveni to establish a refinery. Why? It will wake up other sleeping dogs. It will be a problem in Africa, where these Bazungu are insisting that it should not have a refinery.
Finally,
this is why they want a president who will abandon the refinery. They want to have their presence in the government to ensure that they also play a key role, because much of the money that is disturbing you is coming from basias, homosexuals, and the oil balloons.
Finally, Tamale, do you think the next cabinet will deliver the 2016 State of Progress manifesto as it is to us? Because there will be the time of appraisal. And what do you think will happen to the National Resistance Movement in 2021 when they return to the electorate to say, we still want to be in leadership? Will they manage that time, or it will be another disaster for them? I wish
you had asked that question earlier when we had the time. One, I look backwards. The president brought Chibgundo, he failed to run the Bank of Uganda. He brought him when failed to run UCB. They spend most of the time fighting. Suruma failed the Minister of Finance. There was a man called Mboijana who was running. He had his own airline. He failed to run Uganda Airlines, and it collapsed. That's very important. Why did these people, the dream team, fail? Why did it fail? Two, the problem we have, the government is facing. One, the deworming exercise. Can Saleh deworm this government? Two, what are we going to do to the rising people who are not voting Museveni? Because these are not people who demand for change. The number is rising. In fact, what you people don't examine is that although Besigye loses, but the number that votes Besigye continues rising. Why? Do we have a solution for this? Do we have a minister who has identified this problem of the rising percentage that now, according to official results, it has reached 35%?
Do we need a special minister for that? Or we need?
If you don't know why the number is rising, in my opinion, I tell you that between 40 and 50 years, society changes. It took 50 years for the Tutsis to go back to Rwanda. It took 50 years for Germany to unite. It took 42 years for the people of Benghazi to go back to Tripoli. Those who are now 30 years were born during the NRM government. They have different.
And they are so many.
Yes, they have different problems. They are young.
They don't know our history.
This is why. Look what the Senecos, the rebel group members. All of them came back. One of them was unopposed. What does it mean? One of the reasons why Kadaga was given high ratings is because she created a no man's land
in Parliament, only in Uganda.
Why? Why is it that six MPs are independent? It means they are running away from government control. Or there are issues that the government has failed to address, which cannot be blamed to an individual MP.
So that's why they're running away.
Yes.
And this is a problem.
Unless you address.
We need a cabinet that can address that issue.
Identify the issues. Why? Why is it that when the president directed the permanent secretary of health, to mark government drugs, she refuses? Why is it that when the government drugs are rotting in government stores.
NMS.
Yes, why? Why? Because
and people complain that there are no drugs in
the
hospitals.
responsibility of requisitioning for drugs lies with the district health officer.
Yes, exactly.
Who knows? Instead of requisitioning drugs for malaria, which is killing people, they demand drugs which treat gonorrhea, which disappeared a long time ago.
And syphilis,
so
which is not there.
this, unless you identify this, in my opinion, it is a political problem.
Well,
it is not an economic problem, because the government creates money for UPE, the money is diverted.
Okay.
Government creates money for NADS, it demands the military to intervene, which means the problem is not economical. The problem is political mobilization.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tamale Mirundi. Our time has run out. We'll now have Business Today coming on next. My name is Jagana Semakola, your host this morning. We thank you so much and wish you a very good weekend. On Sunday, the president of South Korea will be visiting, and UBC TV will bring you the coverage of Her Excellency as she visits Uganda. As you also get to go there. Thank you so much for choosing to be with us. Until